For a superstar who brought the Denver Nuggets their first NBA title, collected 5 All-Star nods, earned 5 All-NBA selections, and is closing in on what could be his 4th MVP trophy, you'd think the media would shower him with non-stop praise. Yet that hasn't been the case at all. In fact, the reality is far more layered, and the reasons behind this disconnect become even more complex when the conversation turns to Nikola Jokić.
Jordan had a historic year when he had 37 points a game, You're not close to winning the MVP. Same thing when Kobe came back and did it. Everyone on a bad team can put up real good numbers, but before, in the last 30-some years, you didn't reward individual play. We see every year, there's always some player that is on a bad team that's putting up, what do they call them, empty stats.
Empty stats.
They don't want to call this empty stats when they're losing. It just makes no sense when we've looked at teams that show dominance. You guys won a championship, you're supposed to come back and dominate. You have the same 4. What is the problem?
Jokic ain't even playing for real, bro. He's not even playing for real.
He averaged 9 assists.
That nigga really don't be playing for real because he don't want to win MVP no more. That's crazy.
He don't want that attention no more.
Yeah, bro, I don't even want to play for real because I don't want to win an MVP. I don't want to do all that extra. I just want to go see my horses after the season. I want to win the championship and go be with my horse.
Yes, Anthony Davis can be a defensive force when he's actually healthy, but it's hard to ignore how often he's sidelined. On the other hand, Nikola Jokić is practically a nightly fixture, quietly stacking triple-doubles the way most players rack up warm-ups. Yet there was a time when Stephen A. Smith suggested he'd take the shot-blocking specialist over the guy who orchestrates an entire offense and still scores whenever he wants. To be fair, that might have been more misunderstanding than criticism, because Stephen A.'s perspective on Jokić has noticeably evolved since then.
Redick, are you ready for this? I take Anthony Davis over Luka. I take Anthony Davis over Jokic.
But then there's Kendrick Perkins, who insists the conversation goes far beyond simple basketball debates. In his view, the NBA's praise machine isn't neutral at all. He argues there are built-in biases that influence which players get pushed into the spotlight and which ones get overlooked.
Both. Both works for me. He's the 3-time league MVP. He's playing like it. He's reminding us of the level of greatness he possesses, that he's the best player in the game and that nobody can stop him.
Imagine claiming that a player who topped almost every advanced statistic somehow won MVP because of white privilege. Whether that take came from bias or simple misjudgment, the disrespect hit louder than a Los Angeles Lakers fan celebrating after one regular season win on Twitter. But here's the unexpected turn. Even Perkins has since adjusted his viewpoint and now recognizes Jokić for the powerhouse he truly is.
It comes down to guys winning MVP since 1990. It's only 3 guys that won the MVP that wasn't top 10 in scoring. Do you know who those 3 guys were?
Who are they?
Steve Nash, Jokic, and Dirk Nowitzki. Now, what do those guys have in common? I'll let it sit there and marinate. You think about it.
Every time critics try to dismiss Nikola Jokić, he answers exactly as he has since 2014, by proving them wrong. Back then, so-called experts saw him as nothing more than a future backup, with one report even calling him a poor man's Boris Diaw. Others claimed his defense was too shaky for real minutes, pointing to slow footwork in the pick and roll and warning he'd get pushed around on the boards and in the post. But instead of accepting those labels, Jokić turned them into fuel. He rebuilt every part of his game, worked past every limitation, and transformed himself into the kind of player those early scouting reports never came close to imagining.
He's clearly the best player in the league. He's clearly having the best season of his career.
And now, Nikola Jokić has raised the bar to a point that almost feels unreal, pushing the definition of dominance into entirely new territory. Even Brian Windhorst acknowledges it, openly saying that Jokić is performing in a tier that keeps reshaping what modern basketball greatness truly looks like.
So we drafted him, he stayed over for 1 more year, and then he came over in the summer of 2015, and my dad actually has really good stories about being down in the weight room, early in the morning that summer, and Nikola would be in there every morning with his 2 brothers, and they'd be beating on him kind of before the coaches would even come in, and he'd be in there. But over time, I think Nikola cleaned up his diet. He understood what it took to be a professional.
But none of that seems to matter to the NBA media, who continue to argue that if individual greatness doesn't immediately translate into team success, then it somehow carries less weight. And that's exactly why Charles Barkley delivered his message the way he did, to call out a standard that shifts depending on who the spotlight is on.
I'm going to make it real simple. For every 100 times the Nuggets have the ball, okay, when Jokic is on the court, they score 33 more points. I'm going to say that again. Forget about those numbers. For every 100 times they have the ball when he's on the court, they score 33 more points than when they don't have him for the 100 times on the court. That's like Giannis, just so you know, Giannis is leading the league in scoring at 32 points a game.
Right.
And he has about 100 possessions in a game, give or take. It's like having an extra number one scorer in the league come onto the court when Jokic comes on the court. When he goes off, it's like losing Jokic and that leading scorer. This is compelling, okay? I thought that the bar was too high for him to win a fourth MVP this year. He's clearing that bar.
Every time the Denver Nuggets come up short, the NBA media is quick to pin the blame on Nikola Jokic, as if he hasn't been the one holding the entire franchise together. Critics talk as though he's the issue, pushing a narrative that Michael Malone designed the whole system just to stat pad for Jokic instead of trying to win games, a claim that completely ignores the reality of what he actually delivers on the court.
We'll say this about Denver, though. I hope they make a trade. You cannot waste a Joker's career. He is the best player in the world.
They won a championship.
I know, but he's like they could win again. They let two guys go off the bench that were very vital to them winning the championship. They bench is weaker than water.
And Chuck, I think you need to add Jamal need to step his game back.
Well, Jamal needs to step up, but you got to bring some guys off the bench. Yeah, they won a championship, but they just let guys go. If you got a guy that great, you got to win some more because he got another 5 years. When he gets older, his game gonna still be fine because he's not the most athletic brother in the world. And I'm telling you, you cannot waste this guy's prime. This guy's the best player in the world. Get greedy.
Here's Kendrick Perkins doubling down on the same worn-out narrative, repeating a storyline that somehow keeps circling back no matter how many times Nikola Jokic shuts it down with his play.
Nikola Jokic is based entirely on advanced metrics and inflated on-off numbers that are perpetuated by Mike Malone's rotation.
While it's unreasonable to fault Nikola Jokic for the Denver Nuggets front office failing to build a deeper roster around him, the truth is hard to escape. Those organizational shortcomings will still influence how his legacy is judged in the years to come.
Hey, well, don't come giving me this stuff about a triple-double. I don't want to hear that. You know why? Because when I watch the games, okay? When I watch the... Hold on. When I watch the games, I'm watching Jokic pass the ball, and I'm watching his guys catch and shoot, no hesitation, good or bad shot. And let me tell you one thing. It goes on, conversations goes on in that locker room, and players know what their stats are.
No matter how much he elevates his game in the postseason, many in the media refuse to budge until the Denver Nuggets collect more titles. And since I can't repeat that entity again here, I'll keep it general. Beyond the constant fixation on rings, there's another reason some fans and analysts keep downplaying him. They call him boring or not athletic enough. But how do you call a player dull when he can cook Stephen Curry like this? Sure, he's not throwing down highlight reel dunks, firing off wild celebrations, or chasing viral Instagram moments. Instead, he controls games with no-look passes, masterful timing, and a brand of basketball we haven't seen in years. Yet because it's quiet, efficient, and far from flashy, the media shrugs, and others label him weird, completely missing the brilliance unfolding right in front of them.
At the end of the day, Nick, if he only wins one, it's weird. Nobody's going to, at the end, they're not going to be like, yeah, but he didn't have Kobe like Shaq. It's going to be, he only won one compared to Shaq's 4 or compared to Bird's 3. Right. And so he's got to win more to rise. Or at least.
Did he really just say Nikola Jokic is too weird for people to like? At this point, the takes have gotten so unhinged that it's easier to just let that comment stand by itself. Because honestly, it reveals far more about the critics than it ever will about the Joker.
With the whole Jokic thing, and half these people don't even like Jokic. How can you? He's almost impossible to like.
He is weird.
He's kind of a weird dude.
He's very weird.
He's a weird dude.
The truth is, Nikola Jokic isn't about flair. His game is rooted in pure fundamentals. And it's perfectly fine if you enjoy a Stephen Curry shimmy, a LeBron James chase down block, or a high-flying Jay Morant dunk. That's part of what makes the league fun. But Jokic offers something entirely different. Beyond the triple-doubles, he delivers some of the most absurd, mind-bending passes in basketball, and moments like this one show just how unique and special his game truly is.
I mean, if you don't like the Joker, there's something wrong with you as a person.
Nikola Jokic gets labeled too weird or too boring, but his game was never meant for people chasing highlight clips, It's built on fundamentals so advanced that most fans don't even recognize the genius until they see the replay. And sure, if someone prefers a Stephen Curry shimmy, a LeBron James chase down block, or a J.A. Morant poster dunk, that's completely fine. Those moments are loud, flashy, and fun. But Jokic's brilliance lives in a different world. In the impossible passing angles, the physics-defying reads, the plays that shouldn't even be real. When moments like the one you just saw get waved off, it highlights exactly why NBA viewership keeps slipping. The league and its media machine care more about surface-level entertainment than the substance that actually makes basketball special. They'll hype a basic dunk with a flex, yet spend zero time explaining how Jokic threads a pass through 3 defenders without even breaking rhythm. His greatness isn't in the wow, it's in the how a 7-footer manipulates defenses like a point guard, how he controls a game without theatrics, how he makes mastery look effortless without begging for attention. And honestly, the personality part matters too. He's not out here declaring himself the GOAT, stirring drama, or hogging headlines. He plays, he wins, he goes home to his horses, and he lets the basketball do all the talking, which is exactly why narrative-hungry media voices can't stand him, and exactly why he doesn't need their approval in the first place.